Greetings from Christian News and Interviews. So today I'm going to talk about Scientology, the cult. Listen to this. 3 former Scientology workers sue, saying they were trafficked as children. Gawain Baxter was 6 years old when he signed a contract agreeing to work for the Church of Scientology for 1 billion years. Now that right there tells you these people are nuts. 6-year-olds cannot legally sign a contract. A 6-year-old is not of age. But the fact that they had this 6-year-old child sign a contract where the parents, I'll tell you where the parents were, they were deeply immersed in this cult. And so the poor child had no choice but to sign the contract, but it's not enforceable anyway. 6 years old when he signed a contract agreeing to work for the Church of Scientology for 1 billion years. So in other words, I belong to you, I'm your property, I'm your slave for 1 billion years. Oh, please. He said he spent his childhood doing manual labor at Scientology's flag land base in Clearwater, Florida, and getting no education beyond basic reading, writing, and math. At age 15, Baxter attempted to leave by writing a letter to a superior about constant abuse and intolerable living conditions. Now, keep in mind that this is a very cruel, wicked organization. They have no conscience. They're a bunch of sociopaths. So you're not going to get anywhere by writing them any letters. You just need to walk out. Instead, he said, church officials sent him to Scientology's free wind ship in the Caribbean, where he worked for little to no wages for 14 years. Through his highly regimented Sea Org workforce, Scientology officials systematically trafficked Baxter, 39, and others by indoctrinating them as children and making it financially, physically, and psychologically impossible for them to leave as adults, according to a lawsuit filed Thursday in Tampa federal court against Scientology leader David Miscavige and 5 church entities. The reason they don't want these people to get much of an education is because the more educated you are, the more choices you have. And the more choices you have, the wider your mind space is. And with the wide mind space, you are more likely to walk out of a cult into freedom. And they don't want these people free. I'll also pause because I've done a lot of research on this, on Scientology. You're not free to leave. Now, they will tell you that you can leave, but the truth of the matter is you're not free to leave. They will harass you. They will show up at your door. They will knock at your door. They will go to your job. They will call you. You are not free to leave. If you are well-known, if you're in the public domain, if you're famous, obviously they don't want to cause any issues. So your chances of leaving and getting out of there is better because you're in the public domain. But if you're just a regular everyday person, you're not free to leave. And leaving is not difficult. David Miscavige's own father had to escape. He's since passed away, bless his heart, but his own father had to escape. David Miscavige's wife made the mistake of defying him, and she has disappeared. She's been gone for years. No one has seen her for years. So this is a cult. It's a very dangerous cult. And I'm going to read a little bit more, and then I want to talk about the fact that the Nation of Islam has gotten themselves connected to this mess. The 90-page complaint was filed on behalf of Baxter, his wife Laura, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Basically, they're saying that they were trafficked and they are suing. I wish them the best of luck. I hope that they win. Let's see if there's anything else from here that I want to share with you all. What I will do is I will post the article itself. The article is titled, "3 Former Scientology Workers Sue, saying they were trafficked as children." So I will post the article and you can read the rest of it for yourself. I think you get the gist of where I'm coming from. What I'm going to do now, oh, and I'm also going to post a link to this video of a man named Jason who escaped Scientology. And if you go to YouTube or to the internet in general and type in people who escaped Scientology, you'll see quite a few people who have escaped and share their escape story. And this man has a really, really, really interesting story of his escape. So I will post his also. His name is, let me just read this a little bit. Don was a senior executive of the Church of Scientology at the Flag Land Base. This is a Tampa Bay Times video of his breathtaking escape. A repeating story in the church is that people held against their will flee. In their arrogance, the church believes they have the power of federal marshals to pursue you like prey and take you into custody. There is a paranoia that you will reveal their dirty little secrets to the outside world. Other fleeing staff have had to call Riverside Sheriff's or Los Angeles Police Department to get help in escaping. Exited staff have years of nightmares in their sleep of pursuit by the posses the church sends out. And she put church in quote because this is not a church, this is a cult. Imagine a quote unquote church where one has to enable law enforcement help to flee. Wow. I would advise you also to subscribe to Surviving Scientology's web channel. Very interesting guests, very interesting interviews. The people who run this channel were once Scientologists, and they talk about their own situation. So, and about how their son stayed in there and unfortunately ended up dying. Oh, what a horrible situation these poor people are in. But what I'm going to end with is the fact that Farrakhan's strange ties to Scientology, given the fact that this is a known cult, why on God's earth is the Nation of Islam connected to this garbage? Why are they connecting Black people to this? Leah Remini escaped. She got up out of there. And so did Mike Render. He was a top official and he grew up in it. She grew up in it, but they got out. Let me just read a little bit of this and then I'll stop. There's the matter of Tony Muhammad, the West Coast regional minister of the Nation of Islam, whose face is plastered all over Scientology's website. Muhammad is a recipient of the LAS Freedom Medal, the church's most coveted award for spreading its teachings. It's such an ugly marriage of convenience between these two, and it's going to ultimately end in an ugly divorce because both of these organizations believe that there's only one true answer, explains Render. Scientology, through David Miscavige, has done enormous things to try to engage and involve the Nation of Islam in Scientology. They have subsidized their involvement and given the highest Scientology awards to Tony Muhammad, the West Coast leader of the Nation of Islam. They have Nation of Islam people showing up at their events, acting as security people. And conversely, Farrakhan is preaching from his pulpit about the great man L. Ron Hubbard was. Now, let me if you ever read about L. Ron Hubbard, the man was a schizophrenic who created his own religion, and he actually found people to follow. And this is what Louis Farrakhan is falling for and has tricked a lot of Black people into joining. Farrakhan is preaching from his pulpit about the great man L. Ron Hubbard, who's come to save the Black man. It's utterly insane. And when it comes to Muhammad's involvement with Scientology, few people know more than Remedy, who says she served as Muhammad's handler of sorts. When I was introduced to Tony Muhammad at Celebrity Center, he was in a very tough spot. He was not doing well financially. He wasn't making money. And yet he was working for Farrakhan as a Nation of Islam's West Coast representative. Celebrity Center asked me to buddy him and indoctrinate him into Scientology. And that's exactly what happened. Since he couldn't even pay his rent, I ended up sponsoring him for his first introductory courses. Celebrity Center asked me to do this, and he's never paid me back and blocked me on Twitter. I considered myself a friend to Tony and his family, yet I received threats from the Farrakhan speech, Remedy continues, and you receive a 10% commission anytime you get somebody to do a Scientology service, and you're called a staff member once you start promoting Scientology courses, which is what they've done. So I think there's also a financial benefit to the Nation of Islam telling their followers to study Scientology. Wow. If Leah Remini is right, looks like Black folks have been sold out for $1. Interesting. Stay tuned.